Hi YouTube, this is Beauty Manifested and I am Danny the Teej. Welcome to tea time. You may notice I'm in my jammies because this is an evening tea time, so we have a little bit of herbal tea today. I'm drinking a peach tea and I actually put creamer. I don't know if you guys can see, but I actually put creamer in my tea. And this is a churro cinnamon flavored creamer, so it's like peaches, cinnamon, creamy. It tastes like a peach pie, so it's really delicious. It's like a little nightcap. It's nice and sweet. And it's a little chilly up here for some reason. So I think I'm going to actually do my blanket. I don't know why it's so cold in here. I'm going to turn it down in a sec because that's ridiculous. But yeah, so I'm getting super comfy. And then today I've decided to talk about my dating guidelines. And I wrote it all out. If you guys have been following me, I've been doing mostly written videos lately because it just really helps me to organize my thoughts, and I really think that I'm a great writer. So this is my dating guidelines. I will read it to you and I'll elaborate as I go. So I have to yawn. You can tell the tea is doing what it's supposed to do. So I have been dating intentionally for almost 2 years now, and so I have learned quite a bit about my wants and my needs as far as partnership is concerned. So the first disclaimer is that your love list, this is, what is this? This is my dating guidelines as well as how to create a love list. So what a love list is it's a list of qualities that you are looking for in a partner. And then the dating guidelines is basically like the protocol or the code of ethics that you follow when you're dating, like it's like kind of like the vetting process that you use to find the man who matches your love list. Yeah. So I have been dating intentionally. Basically, I've been doing this for the last 2 years, and it's taken me 2 years to come up with my guidelines and everything. So I have learned quite a bit about my wants and my needs as far as partnership is concerned. So the first disclaimer is that your love list is an evolving document, and even throughout your marriage, you will always want to maintain a love list. It's basically just a guideline or protocol that you can use to ensure that your needs are being met in a relationship, and our needs do evolve over time. I have the yawnies today. I don't know why. And of course, I wasn't even yawning before I started the video. So here is my current love list. My ideal lover is a man who is incredibly driven and ambitious. His work ethic and attention to detail is nothing short of admirable. I am inspired every day to present my best self because of the way he is, always on his P's and Q's. I am impressed by him. He is a gentleman and he is honest. I appreciate his sense of humor. He has high integrity, and I can tell that he is respected by other men. His friends call him for advice, and he is a leader in his world. He has a strong moral compass and seeks to do the right thing, especially when no one is watching. He holds himself to the highest standard. He values himself by making healthy decisions and taking calculated risk. He is self-disciplined and legacy-driven, always thinking 10 steps ahead. He is financially capable and financially responsible. He is knowledgeable in all areas of life: health, wealth, mindset, and relationships. He is intentional in the things he values and despises ignorance. He is very much in love with me and sees all of the best parts of me. He is deliberate in the building of our relationship. I feel safe with him. I feel that he has my best interests at heart. I feel that he wants to honor me and do right by me. So that's my love list. Like, that's basically like the traits and characteristics, and also the way that I want to feel in the presence of my man who will eventually become my husband. So how do I apply this to my dating? Like, when men pursue me to do whatever, when men begin pursuing me, how do I decipher whether or not they are this love list? And like, how do I allow them to show me if they are that? Sorry, I'm getting on again. So this is also an evolving practice. My dating mindset has changed a lot in the last 2 years, and although I spent time with a lot of men who didn't turn out to be my man, I learned something from each and every one of them. Most recently in my dating journey, I decided to take a break from dating, so I did No Man April. I didn't go on any dates this month. Of course, I am still provided for by my dad, by God, my Heavenly Father, and by the male collective as a whole. But in the past month, I haven't put any time into actually romantically dating. I deleted all dating apps at the end of 2022, so I have only been organically dating for this entire year of 2023. And today is April 25th. I meet men all kinds of ways, but especially through events and parties that I attend. So beginning on May 1st, I will be accepting dates again, and I have a few rules that are super simple. And basically, I got really busy with work, and it was requiring a lot of my time and focus, and also using up a lot of my energy. And so I didn't feel like I had energy to put into my dating. And then also, I just kind of needed a break, I guess, because since 2023, I've like not seriously dated, but I've dated like a few guys, like introduced guys to my dad, like, and none of it, I just wasn't, basically, I felt like I wasn't attracting the quality of man that I really wanted. And that's not to say I didn't attract good guys, and I don't think those guys will ever see these videos, but like, I just wasn't satisfied with my dating experiences. Like, I didn't feel like I had like a lineup of like really, really, really great men that I wanted to marry all of them, and it was just a matter of who was gonna propose first. It was like I was just dating like a few guys who honestly I was just like about, like it was just nothing exciting. So I just took a break because I'm like, honestly, like I have such a full life. My gardening season is getting started, and I have to focus on my business right now, and I just don't want to pour any energy into these lackluster relationships because these men don't even match the love list anyways. And so April has been a wonderful reset for me, and honestly it's felt good to just like, I mean, I'm always investing in myself, but like honestly putting like zero attention onto men, and not even like, because it's crazy, like I was telling my friends, like literally on April 2nd, after I had decided that I wasn't going to be dating any men were coming out the woodworks. Like literally I was getting invited on more dates than ever. Like men who I used to talk to were showing back up. Like the men were everywhere. And so it took a little bit of self-control for me to even be like, okay, no dates, like no dates. And it just felt really good to really put my focus on me and just not be seeking a man, not be thinking of a man. Like when I tell you my mind, I haven't even thought about it. So it's been a really good reset, but I'm excited to get back going. And honestly, with my current mindset, I feel like I'm gonna be married by June. Who knows? Yeah, so oh, and I also deleted all the dating apps. Yeah, I did do dating apps for a little while. Not a lot, like I didn't date a lot of guys from dating apps, but I did do it for a little while, and honestly, I'm just not a fan. Like, I like men who come up to me. I like to be able to feel them out to see if I want to give them my number. Like, the dating apps are just, it's just too much time. It felt like I had a second job, and that's just not the dating experience I'm looking to have. That's not the life experience I'm looking to have. Like, I'm a beautiful, lovely, kind-hearted woman. I don't feel like I should have to work hard to get a man, and that's how I felt on the dating apps. Like I was literally working hard, and I didn't feel safe. Like I felt like I had to put up like so many extra precautions to ensure my safety when meeting up with these literal strangers that it just wasn't worth it to me. Yeah, so not on dating apps. And so here are the rules that I follow to keep my dating life super simple. Rule number 1, there will be no intimate physical contact within the dating stage. I will allow hand holding, and that is it. After date 4 or 5, when I am feeling pretty comfortable with a man, I am open to the idea of visiting his home to see how he lives, but not at nighttime and with proper boundaries in place. Not at nighttime and with proper boundaries in place, such as not going in his bedroom, not cuddling, not staying for long, etc. So no physical contact. I did date a guy before, and like I wasn't wanting to like kiss him and stuff like that because ew. And he took it kind of personal. He told me he felt rejected. He's like, I don't know if I'm into you. I'm used to girls doing this. I'm used to girls doing that. I feel like those are all mind games. Like, I don't care about any of that. If I'm just getting to know a man to see if we're compatible and see if we want to do a relationship together, why would I be putting my face on your face? Like, that's disgusting and germs. And if you would do it with me, you would do it with anyone. Like, you might have herpes. And I know that sounds dramatic, but like that's really how I feel. In the beginning of my dating journey after being single, because obviously when I had like a quote unquote boyfriend, that's what I used to call the man who I was in a quote unquote relationship with, we used to kiss. And so when I got into like dating again, I didn't really know like what the rules are or anything like that. But what I've discovered in my dating journey are the rules are whatever you want them to be and whatever you feel comfortable with. And I didn't feel comfortable with men who are not my husband or not my fiance or not anything to me kissing me. Like, yeah, I didn't like that. I do let men hold my hand because I would let anyone hold my hand. I let my friends hold my hand. I would let a random stranger hold my hand if they're guiding me to go somewhere. Anyone who I trust to guide me somewhere can hold my hand. And if I go on a date with a man, then I'm trusting him to guide me somewhere. So he can hold my hand, but he cannot like invade my personal space. I do hug, I'm a hugger, but no cuddling, no kissing, no sexual touching. Like, don't touch me in an inappropriate manner. Yeah, and then obviously no sex, but like that goes without saying because duh. Yeah, so none of that. We won't be doing any of that at all. Seriously, I can't even believe that men think that that would be acceptable. And I've had men like literally try to argue with me about it. Like, not argue, but like try to convince me and like try to, like, they felt offended. I'm like, I don't have to explain myself to you. Rule number 2. He will meet my father early on, and this is actually a newer rule. The touch rule has been around for a little while now. Quite a while now. That one came in like a couple months. Like, it wasn't, I didn't have that rule with the first guy, and that's how I had to learn from experience that these men were gonna try and kiss you, and I actually let men kiss me, and I was like I didn't like it. Like, yeah, I did do the kissing, and honestly, I think kissing is like a gateway drug. It starts with kissing and then touching, and like it's just too much. So I don't like the kissing, but I didn't always have that rule because I didn't know, and I basically just learned that one from experience. And then the second rule is like fairly new because the last guy who I was dating a couple months ago, I did have him meet my dad, and I felt really, really good about that. Like, it felt super good. And so now I want all the guys to do that. So he will meet my father early on, probably by the second date. The first date, I am willing to meet him at a white tablecloth restaurant with valet. Bonus if he brings a gift. I will probably request a gift. On the second date, he will pick me up from my home and knock on the door like a proper gentleman so that a member of my family can look him in the eye. That goes without explaining. I think that's what most of us used to do when we were in high school and whatnot. But, you know, we grow up, we move out of our parents' home, stuff like that. But I want to take full advantage of the fact that I do still live with my father and allow him to be involved in the process of me picking a life partner. So yeah, like, I think that's really good. And my parents know me so well, my grandma knows me so well, and so I feel really good having them involved in like the dating process, and they can kind of like tell me if they pick up something fishy, or just like, I just want them to be involved. And if I'm spending time with someone, it's important to me that my family has at least like seen his face and looked into his eyes. And I just feel like the respect level is a lot better when that has happened. And some of my guy friends who are in long-term relationships, they actually said like they feel like a guy should have to meet your dad like first date. So yeah, I did say first date is kind of a lot. Not a lot, like it's not anything crazy, but I will meet them on the first date. It has to be at a nice restaurant, and there has to be valet so I feel safe. And then the second date I'll have him meet my dad. Because that way I can at least feel if it's even worth having him come to the house. I don't want to just be inviting any man who wants to take me on a date to my house. Which is also like so modern, because back in the day it was like, I guess like people who live in small towns and stuff, everyone knows where you live. Like, it's not a big deal for someone to know where you live. Like, you're not gonna feel unsafe. Your dad has a gun. I live in Texas. Everyone has guns. Like, you know, it's no big deal to let people know where you live. But now I live in this like big city. It's Dallas. Like, I meet so many people, and you know, you might meet someone who wants to take you on a date. And in general, like, I feel like I'm a good judge of character, and I tend to attract really good men. But you can just never be too safe, and you don't want everyone knowing where you live, because you just never know. Like, better safe than sorry. Rule number 3, he has 3 months to offer me the level of relationship that I desire, or else I'm gone. I just don't believe that it takes longer than that to know where a relationship is heading. That's pretty self-explanatory. Like, and I've had guys who were dating me, and like, they would take me on nice dates. They were really sweet and things, but we were going on sending me dates and stuff, and like, the relationship wasn't progressing at all. Like, we were just continuing to go to dinner and go on dates, which I'm fine with. I love dinner, I love dates, but it was just like kind of suspicious. I'm like, are you married or something? Like, because some guys are trying to get you in a relationship super duper quick, and then some guys are taking you on like 1,000,001 dates, buying you gifts, doing the whole thing, but never moving the relationship forward. So I feel like that's a red flag. It's a little suspicious. So you get 3 months to date me before I am out. Rule number 4. 3 months in, we can start talking about merging our lives. So usually how it has been for me, a guy wants to be exclusive, wants to know if we're exclusive like 2 weeks in, 2 dates in, sometimes faster, sometimes like after the first date, if we've been talking on the phone and whatnot. He wants to know after the first date if we're exclusive, if I'm only dating him, and like what's up with that. So obviously I'm not gonna just hop into something with someone before I feel comfortable. So after 3 months, I should know how he feels about me. He should probably be ready to, like, if I want to get married or get more serious and he's open to that, he would love that. By 3 months, I feel pretty good about it, and I feel like he's had time to show himself to me. And so at that point, we can start having more serious talks about merging our lives. We can meet each other's friends or coworkers. We can talk about paying bills, buying a home, the wedding. Like, we can talk about all of the nitty-gritty. If a guy asks me, tries to like start digging for all that stuff like really early on, like the first or second date, I take that as a red flag, because I'm like, it's kind of like, you don't even know me and you're asking me all these like personal questions. And I feel like sometimes their guys are just trying to get into one of those like podcast debates about you, like the red pill guys or whatever. They're just trying to see what your perspective is so they can argue with you. And so I don't get into those conversations early on, but if things have been going well for the past 3 months, and at that point we can start talking about, you know, what it would look like to build a life together. Rule number 5, no trips. Absolutely no trips. Every single guy I date, he wants to take me on a trip. I want to take you here, I want to take you there, blah, 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 blah. I feel like that's code for he's trying to have sex with me. That's just how I feel. I'm not traveling with a man during dating. After he gets the ring, we can travel to see my family, see his family, see my friends, etc. If we're not engaged, we're not traveling together. And that's just period. Because if I don't sleep over at your house, why would I sleep over at a hotel room with you? And then when I tell the guy that I want to have my own room, he tries to act like funny. So that's a red flag when guys even do that. Like, why are you trying? I feel like he's trying to like get over or something. Why would I go sleep in a hotel room with you? Like, these men are crazy. Especially when I've explicitly already shown you that I'm not willing to sleep over your house. I'm not willing to do sleepovers. But all of a sudden you want to sleep over out of town. They think I never traveled before and that they can like smooth me into sleeping with them just because they're going to take me on a vacation. Like, I can go on my own vacation. These men are crazy. Anyways. Rule number 6. How many rules do I have? I have 8 rules. Okay, so rules number 6, we can live together during engagement. Obviously, this is a rule in theory because I haven't been engaged yet, but like in my head, I think we can live together during engagement. So once I have the ring on my finger, you know, after 3 months, we can start having those serious talks. Once we've had the talks, he'll probably go get the ring. Once he gets the ring, I accept the ring. Everything's good. Our families know I met his family. He met my family. The engagement has been announced. At that point, I'll just read what I have and I'll tell you. Once I have the ring on my finger, I intend to schedule the wedding 1 year out. I don't want to move into his house. I want him to purchase a house that is just for me. And at this point, we'll not like just for me, like only me, but I want us to have a house together. I don't want to just move into his house. So, at this point, we will become exclusive and I will not be dating or looking. Obviously, once we've announced engagement, I'm not going to be dating other people. Duh. But yeah, I won't be. Intimacy is still not on the table until after the wedding. He should be fully on board with this and not pressuring me. Like, we should have both made the mutual decision that we won't be having sex until the wedding. Period. But we can definitely still move in and maybe cuddle and kiss and like a little bit of stuff. But at that point, I should trust him, and I know that we both have the goal to wait until the wedding night, so it shouldn't be an issue at all. We can start house hunting. We have a year until the wedding, so we technically have a year to find the house, but I don't think it takes that long. So whenever we find the house, we can move in, start moving my things, start moving his things, and start creating our life together before the wedding. I don't have a problem with that. And then also, I think I'm going to cover this later, but I'm not super big on the wedding. Okay, that's rule number 7, so I'll get into that. So I am open to any kind of wedding. The wedding isn't very important to me. We could go to the courthouse and have a small ceremony, but I will leave that up to our families to decide. So yeah, basically, like, if we find the house and then we have the wedding venue booked for a year out, like, we could just go to the courthouse and get married before we actually have the wedding. People do that all the time. I don't see why we wouldn't do that. Honestly, now that I'm saying that out loud, I feel like that would make the most sense. Like, we'll just do the engagement, announce the engagement to our families, find the house together, move into the house, go to the courthouse and get married on paper, and then for the wedding, we can even have like a party at our house and do the wedding like that in the backyard. You know, I grow beautiful gardens. We could get married in my garden. We could do a destination wedding and fly out our friends. We could do a traditional wedding depending on what culture he's from. Like, honestly, it doesn't matter to me. Whatever. But we'll probably get married at the courthouse first, just to so we can live together, and honestly, so that we're not like being celibate for like a super long time, like a year, living in the same house together. I wouldn't want to do that. He wouldn't want to do that. Like, that would just be awkward and uncomfortable. So it would make more sense for us to go to the courthouse and then start creating our life. Rule number 8, this is the last rule. I personally believe that by month 3 he should have I personally believe that by month 3 he should have already taken responsibility for a lot of my expenses, especially beauty maintenance expenses, transportation expenses, education expenses, gym memberships, etc. At engagement, he will obviously pay for housing and utilities and food and any outstanding debt I have, if any. He should probably begin adding me to bank accounts, credit cards, insurances, etc. After marriage, he will provide for everything, but that should already be happening during the 1-year engagement. Within the first 3 months, I feel like there should be gifts and fun stuff like shopping trips and spa days, because I would assume he wants to impress me and win me over and sweep me off my feet. This part kind of goes without saying, but I will include it because there was a time in my life where I didn't know what I was allowed to require in dating, and I'm sure there are women who still don't know. I am here to tell you that you require all of your lifestyle expenses. If a man wants to marry you, then he wants to sign up to maintain a lifestyle. And so you should see if he is eligible to do that during the dating. That's the only way it's really worth your time anyways. And like we say in business, he needs to have skin in the game. He knows this, so act like he knows. Because I know a lot of women are like, oh, well, that's not fair, and it's so hard, and blah, 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 blah. But trust me, he knows that he's supposed to be providing. Like, it's not a mystery to him. Like, some guys are literally saving up money so they can have a wife. Like, they're saving up money because they know that wives are expensive. So, you know, act like he knows, because he knows, so you need to know too. Yeah. So men who don't spend money want to waste your time and treat you poorly. Point blank, period. I am not available for that nonsense. I do believe that if you don't already have any designer purses, or you don't usually get your hair done every month, then you shouldn't ask for that right away in dating, because those aren't really lifestyle expenses. And so it may be nice to receive that, but I wouldn't personally require it. Like, you get to have your own rules. Designer things are just not high on my list of priorities. However, I think you should ask for whatever you want, period. Like, you might as well. Like, this is the stage. Like, those first 3 months is when you set your standard and you ask for what you want. So if that's what you want, like, you might as well ask for it. But that's just not really what I want. Like, I'd much rather have, like, my education paid for, my debt paid off, buy a new house, like, stuff like that. But, you know, depending on the quality and the caliber of man that you get, hopefully he'll just do that stuff for fun. Like, you don't have to ask. If he's the kind of guy who likes to buy designer purses, he'll just buy a designer purse. And if you already have designer purses, then that's a different thing. Like, if you only carry designer purses, then obviously if he gets you a purse, it's going to be a designer purse. And I'm not talking about like Coach or something, but you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, ask for whatever you want. And if he's got it like that, you can lightly hint at it and he will probably offer. But in general, if you're seriously dating for marriage, you just want to see what kind of lifestyle the man can afford to offer. So make sure he can pay for your actual needs. So in the dating stage, I feel like that's when he's like wooing you and he's like treating you, gifting you, like, you know, he's getting you fun stuff. If anything, like in the first 3 months is definitely when he would buy like a purse. You know, he'll take you shopping, stuff like that, just to show like, hey, I'm serious about you, I'm willing to invest in you, and I have money to invest in you. And then at that 3-month mark, that's when he should start taking responsibility for bills, adding you to credit card, you know, paying for more serious things, and just like taking on the things that your dad used to pay for or that you used to pay for, because I know not everyone's dad is providing for them. But yeah, so insurance, car, you guys will probably be house shopping, so like moving in together. I don't have house fees, but you know, maybe he'll pay for your house or you guys will move in together. You know, he should start paying for like the necessities, things like that. And since he's paying for all of that, he may not be doing the shopping trips and stuff as much. And that's fine, because now he's paying for the other stuff and then you can use your money for the shopping trips. This is my guidelines, by the way. Like, I know some girls are getting all of the above. They're getting jets, they're getting shopping, they're getting rent, they're getting all the things, okay? So whatever you want, you can have. But for me, you know, like, that's fine as long as he pays for all of my living expenses, like all of the necessities, all of my survival needs, then that's good enough for me for at least a little while. And then like birthday gifts and stuff like that, obviously. Yeah, so these are pretty much all of my guidelines. It may sound like a lot from the way that I presented it in this video, but it's actually really simple and easy. And I know that the providing part is scary for a lot of women, but I promise you that men actually know they're supposed to be doing this already. And so if you don't require it, they feel like they're getting over on you, and they are. And the kind of man who matches my love list is a good, honorable, financially stable man. Having this list and these guidelines really helps me to operate well in dating and not leave anything to chance. I know what I'm looking for, and so it is easy for me to walk away from a man who just isn't making the cut. It's also easy to say no to inappropriate invitations from even the right man, because I've already outlined in my code of ethics. I know what serves me and what doesn't. This list took me 2 years to cultivate. Some of the rules have been here since day one, and some of them are fairly new, but they are all tried and true and allow me to feel really confident dealing with men. Whereas I used to be a scared little girl who didn't want to have her heart broken and would shy away from any negotiations with her tail between her legs because she didn't know how to have her needs met. Men love confident women, and having my code of ethics allows me to show up as my most high value self. Men respect women who are willing to walk away. Because I have it all written down, I know exactly when it's time to walk, and I have to honor my word because I wrote it down, and there's a reason for everything that I wrote down. So just because I like him, I think he's cute, like I already wrote down the rules. And I'm not going to break the rules for everybody. So just if I'm wondering like where a guy's ranking on my list, I can just refer back to the rules to see how he's performing based on the list. So it just makes it really easy, stress-free, and it takes out a lot of the like back and forth that I used to go through, like trying to evaluate men. Like I was like, oh, like I don't know, I just felt confused. But now that I have my guidelines, I'm not confused. Yeah, so I didn't just pull this stuff out of my behind. It's all tried and true. There's a reason I wrote this down. There's a reason for every single one of these rules. Like I didn't just come up with it out of nowhere. So I hope that this is able to help someone, because it was a little bit vulnerable for me to share, but like this has really helped me a lot and changed the dating game for me. And I hope that I'll be coming up with a video soon about the amazing, wonderful guy that I met. But honestly, no rush. I'm enjoying my life. Whenever God is ready, I'm ready too. It seems like every day I'm just going on a new journey and learning something new about myself, and I'm enjoying my singleness. So there's no rush, but I feel like as soon as I start dating in May, it's not going to take long, because I literally know exactly what I'm looking for. That's it. And because I know exactly what I'm looking for, it's easy to swipe left on the guy who I'm not looking for without wasting any time. Because definitely in these 2 years, I entertained a lot of guys who were never the guy. I really didn't even like them that much, but I just wanted to like see how things would progress. And looking back, that was a waste of freaking time, because I knew the whole time that they were not the love list. Period. Point blank. And what you can do is walk away, and the guy might come back at a later date better, you know? But you don't just stick around seeing if he's gonna level up to the love list. You leave, and then he will come back to you once he's ready. So yeah, I wasted a lot of time doing that, but now I know exactly what I'm looking for, and it's easy to remove the ones that I'm not looking for. I love you guys. I hope this helps someone. If you made it this far in the video, give me a thumbs up and leave me a heart in the comment section, or share with me a dating story that you had that was really fun. Love you guys. I'm gonna go to sleep. I've been yawning this whole video. Peace. Stay beautiful.